let's not forget that Sefton Hill has already confirmed that the plot points of the previous Arkham games are going to carry over. Like, this is a direct continuation. And it's interesting because that already improves Arkham Knight for me. Arkham Knight I had issues with as the finale of the franchise, but now that it's not really the finale anymore, but just another entry, that makes it a little bit more tolerable, at least some of my issues with that game.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's kind of interesting because we could see a lot of those characters from the Arkham universe come back, but additionally we could see, Superman villains, but the Arkhamverse iterations of them. And it's going to be really exciting to see this world continued and expanded. So it will be interesting to see which plot points from the Arkham games continue, and how it feeds into a bigger DC universe, and what games they'll want to do after Suicide Squad as well. If they want to do a Flash game or a Superman game, and if we're going to have to wait 5 years between each one. I guess one question that I have for you guys is, how much does the inconsistency of Deadshot changing race bug you? Because for me, it doesn't bug me whatsoever, really. Like, they're just little retcons that I don't really care about. But I've seen a lot of people get really upset that there's inconsistencies there.
I don't see the reason for it, but I also don't really care. Like, I mean, they could have kept him white, and I don't know, they could have made Captain Boomerang black, right? I don't know. But I don't know. It doesn't really. They're probably going to retcon a few things because Harley's probably going to be a completely different character than she was in Arkham Knight. Hopefully they make her smarter. What do you mean? I hope they kind of do change her personality because she's.
Yeah.
I mean that phone call thing that they did, the little promotion thing that they did with the phone call, where she was talking about Batman and whatnot. She kind of did sound incredibly similar to her Arkham counterpart, but I don't want her to be that fucking annoying. I want her to be a little bit more intelligent. I don't want her to be that whiny character we always hear.
Well, it is going to be a comedy game. They hired comedy writers to write the game, so they're probably still going to follow pretty closely to how she was portrayed in that game. I think you make a good point. It's kind of interesting, but the only thing is there is a good reason to make him black in particular, and it's because of the Will Smith portrayal of the character that is much more popular than, let's say, the Batman Arkham iteration of Deadshot or the comic book iteration of Deadshot. Since Will Smith played that character, that is what people associate with Deadshot is Will Smith. That's just the reality of it. So that's why the decision was made. I do understand the point in particular, especially with the Batman Arkham games. It's had such issues with the continuity, and people are trying to get clarity right. And it's one of those things where it's you totally understand why they're doing it. It's because, again, of the Will Smith thing. It's just a bit of a challenge, I guess, or just a weird thing, but it's perfectly logical that they're doing that, and I don't have an issue with it. I'm not triggered about it or upset. It doesn't really. I'm kind of with Marcel. It's kind of whatever,
Yeah. Now, if they make Green Lantern John Stewart and they only kill the Green Lantern in that game, then that's gonna be a problem, okay? Because if they start just killing off black people, then what the fuck's the point, I feel like if they're gonna keep doing retcons to the Arkhamverse, then Batman dying is Batman being the nightmare Batman is probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah,
if they're going to bring him back, he's probably just going to be his normal self again. They're just going to be
well, think about this too.
Again.
Think about this too. Scarecrow in Batman Arkham Asylum to Arkham Knight. I mean, his race doesn't change, but he looks completely different, and it's still canon. It
sounds completely different.
And he sounds completely different. It's a different voice actor. His look is different. I mean, it looks like a completely different character.
I mean, Jim Gordon is voiced by a completely different actor in every single game.
That's true. So keeping that in mind, it's not that out of step of what we've had in the past. And also it's comic books. I mean, that type of thing happens all the time with these, as Jake put it eloquently, I think these little mini retcons, small things that don't really matter that much. So yeah, I mean, I would be more upset rather than something aesthetic that you don't even draw attention to. I don't even think they address it, honestly, at all. They just
I don't think they will.
No, I don't think so. But there are things that you would need to address if, let's say, Batman is suddenly alive in this universe, and it's wait, what? Where's
Joker's still alive or something?
Right? Yeah, crazy. Something like that. Yeah. With the plot, but.
I think that the only way that they would ever address it is if they ever do another remaster or update for the original games. I could see them switching out some character models or something, but that's probably the extent that they do.
And this could be
he has no role in any of the Arkham games. So if that's the case, and to create, if you do as a pre-order bonus for this game, what they should do is have a remastered Batman Arkham series where all 4 Batman games are remastered for next gen.
Except
That
actually good. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So put it on as like a $30 pre-order bonus, and you get the deluxe edition, whatever. It's like $110, maybe make it $40 or $50. I don't really care. And then you get the Suicide Squad game, and then you get all the Batman Arkham games with, as you mentioned, actual improvements to the game where you're fixing some of those canon inconsistencies, retconning a few things, changing some character models to make things not a lot of changes, obviously, because we have so much nostalgia for the games, but something like that where if you're trying to race Ben Deadshot in this game, you might as well just go back in Arkham City and change him too, because he has a small role.
Now, what if this game is like a prequel?
Well,
would you guys feel okay? Would you guys feel okay with that, or would you feel like?
But look at Harley's design.
Well, what about Harley? I mean, just because it says Harlene's whatever. I mean, sure, but like, and yeah, it's like they're saying it's a continuation, but like, what if it is before? Because they're using like the Arkham logo for like the inmates and whatnot. It's like, isn't Arkham closed? Didn't it reopen Arkham? Did they?
Might have in the time that Batman left or something. I don't know. That's one of those things that I'd be okay. Like if it's a prequel, I'll roll with it, but it would be a little bit bizarre if they never addressed like the events of this game in Arkham Knight, for example.
Yeah. I think it should be a sequel. It should go after Arkham Knight, and also with the Justice League, that leads into what we were mentioning earlier about Batman being a surprise appearance. That works perfectly because you're like, Batman's dead. This is after the events of Arkham Knight, and then of course, and then there's the mystery of Batman. I've always thought that the third act final boss fight should be against Batman, ideally, because if it's another thing of kind of like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, if it's like Suicide Squad kills the evil Justice League, he's going around and you're killing the evil Superman, you're killing evil Wonder Woman, and then your last one to defeat is Batman somehow, and you're like, oh, I thought Batman was dead. That could be a cool way to do it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, it could be like, oh yeah, this takes place between the events of 2 of the Arkham games, or it's this amount of years in the future or whatever. Then it's just like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I just think we would have gotten a stronger vibe if that were the case, even in the initial reveal. I do think it's probably a continuation, like they said.
Like a sequel to Night, as it should be. As it should be. Watch Joker show up again.
He's gonna be one of the playable characters.
Remember when I made the
bro?
joke that he's actually controlling the Justice League? That's my prediction. Even though Brainiac is
teaming up. He's teaming up with Brainiac. Yeah. A great plot twist.
The Joker like unzips the Brainiac suit. You realize it's him all along.